I'm curious to know, how are you able to not let the quote unquote darkness pull you into just being like cynical and dark yourself? Because you still maintain your light, you maintain your optimism, maintain your positivity very well. So I'm curious to know, how are you able to maintain your sovereignty even though you work in the industry constantly fighting cyber criminals, trying to essentially shaft people in the back?
Yeah, what a great question. I'll give you a bit of a joke behind it, and then I'll tell you the real answer. So I used to be a research assistant for Stephen Levitt. Now, if you don't know the name, Stephen Levitt is a professor in economics of crime and the author of Freakonomics. And he was my professor when I was a young student at the University of Chicago studying economics of crime with him. So my background in this area goes 20 years now. And he was always a jokester, right? So we would ride in the backseat of a squad car around the University of Chicago campus, observing crime in real time in Southside Chicago. And I always admired that. He was dealing, still is very much dealing with the serious issue of crime and keeping it superbly light. That said, you're asking a much deeper question, which is, to me, the moment you start allowing the external world dictating the weather inside, you've lost. And so the trick in life, and we're all striving for a level of that's higher where we currently are, but the trick constantly is to create a rhythm in your life on a day-to-day basis that really allows you to tap into who you are, not what the world is either wanting you to be or is requiring you to be. It's probably how I would describe it most distinctly. I guess before I even do that, let me just give a very quick prelude to thinking about the elections right now. This is democracy playing itself out at its best. Our freedom of speech is alive and well. And whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, the process that has just unfolded of record number voters voting is a beautiful thing. And I've lived a third of my life almost across each of Asia, US, and Europe. I count the blessings of being an American citizen and seeing this in my backyard every day. So we can cheer that. And whether you win or lose in this election, we still have to think of the other side. And this is the thing that I would encourage everyone to do. How do I reach across the aisle and help the person that has quote unquote lost? So that's my daily practice. Let me answer that in two ways. I'll give you my daily practice, but the most important question, or the more relevant question that everybody on the call should be asking themselves, is how do I figure out my daily practice? Not necessarily copy somebody else, use some of the things that they might be doing if they resonate with you, but figure out what that process is for you. And the way to figure out what that process was for me really had to do with looking through the pain in whatever area of my life it was happening in and finding the incongruencies in that area. So I don't care whether it's something goes poorly in business for you or something goes bad in your relationship. A lot of people put Band-Aids over that and move on to the next relationship or the next business deal. That's the time to sit back and really look inside and ask yourself, what's gone on? What are the lessons out of that? How do I forgive, not forget myself first and foremost? Right? How do I forgive myself, learn from the lessons, and implement whatever changes need to happen? Take it from there. And so to give you mine, my practice has evolved over chapters of my life. I immigrated to the US, to New York at the age of 14 as a kid that spoke zero English. That was chapter one of figuring out who the heck am I? And then you figure out, oh my God, I'm this and this person. And then life throws you another curveball, right? And you say, oh my God, everybody's at fault. No, nobody's at fault. You need to look inside and ask yourself, what is the universe trying to teach you? What are the lessons that you should take out of that? Again, whether it's around your purpose in life, whether it's around the kind of a relationship you want to have with your significant other or with yourself, first and foremost, what is the business direction that you need to take, et cetera, et cetera. So I've gone through multiple metamorphoses, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but it was because I was constantly curious and continue to be more curious. And I'm 40 years old, so the world is the oyster ahead of me still.